7 years ago, I took a huge gamble on myself and I decided to leave my job to pursue my dream of becoming a full-time photographer. Over the years, I made many mistakes, but now that I'm on the other side, I see them as lessons learned. So here I am, sharing those lessons with everyone. Whether you're a hobbyist or a full-timer, there is always room to grow, and there is nothing wrong with making mistakes, only with not learning anything from them. My name is Regina, and this is the Probably Editing Podcast. If I had to pick one thing that I changed in my business that created positive change quickly, was going from texting and emailing as my communication to getting on the phone. So when I first started and I would receive an inquiry, I would do all the contacting, all the communication would be done through text or email. And like literally every aspect of it was through little messages on a computer screen or on a phone screen. And that got me clients. Of course, that's how I grew. But it got to the point where I started to realize that I wasn't attracting the type of clients that I saw myself working with long term. Okay, so as an example, and to kind of like paint a better picture, I was kind of working with like the drive-through version of clients as opposed to the like 5-star Michelin restaurant goers. What would those two people look like? So a drive-through person is somebody who just drives on by, wants to glance at the menu and see whether or not they want to buy something off of it. They have no interest in knowing what makes the product special, what they're about, which one would be better for them. They have no questions. It's just merely price point. They don't really care what I'm about, what I put in my images as far as like the emotions, why I like to shoot, like etc. etc. They just are price shopping. That's one category. That's how I like to view it. The other person is, like I said, the Michelin 5-star restaurant person. So this person loves and appreciates and values food, and they seek high quality experiences. Okay, they're looking past food as just food. They want an experience. They want an atmosphere. They want a story behind the menu. They want to talk to the waiter and ask the waiter questions and hear what the waiter has to say about what the special of the day is. And they are fully aware that it's going to be more expensive than the drive-through, but that in itself is part of the experience, and they are ecstatic to be there, and they made a reservation months ago, etc., etc., etc. When I went from texting and emailing as my only source of communication between new clients from the moment they booked, from the moment they inquired to the day of the shoot, when I went from that to getting on the phone with them right off the bat, the quality of the clients shifted almost immediately. I could probably look back on my HoneyBook website. I use HoneyBook. I could probably look back on it and pull up the exact conversion rates. And I know that they went up, but I don't have an exact number. I should have had it ready, but I don't. I just know that it went up. Okay, maybe I'll post about it later on my Instagram, but the conversion rate absolutely went up, but more than that, and more importantly than that, the quality of the clients that I worked with went up dramatically. All of a sudden, these were people who I felt and I knew and I could see firsthand valued what I was doing. The clients went from somebody who just wanted cute pics. I hate that term. I really don't like it. I hate the words simple and cute pics when it comes to photography. But personally, I don't like to market myself that way, and I don't see my photos as just cute pics. I don't. I don't like it. I went from getting people who just wanted cute, cheap pics to people who wanted to really commemorate this giant accomplishment that they went through because they are first gen seniors, or maybe they're non-traditional seniors who had a kid during their bachelor's degree, had to take a couple years off and then go back, and now they have a 4-year-old, but they're getting their master's. This went from just, I want to get a couple pictures of me, to like somebody who's like, no, this is a huge thing for me. I want to have something that I can always have of this moment, and I want to capture it in the highest possible quality with somebody who understands me and who's going to create photos that I can have as heirloom pieces for my kids to have. It just changes so much when you get on the phone, because right off the bat, you're building a connection with them, okay? In my case, whenever I was texting or emailing people, I was simply, the conversation, it's been a while now, like it's been the years that I do this, but going back on what I can remember, the conversation would kind of go like this. I would get a random text because I would have my, phone number on whatever, and I would get a text and be like, hi, I'm curious about your graduation photo prices, because I specialize in senior portraits. It'd be like, hi, I want to get pricing on graduation portraits or photos, whatever. And what I would do next would just be like, hi, nice to meet you. I have this option for this price, this option for that price, this option for this price, right? And I would either be left on red, or I would be received with a, okay, cool. Like, can I book this one? What dates do you have open? I would send them the dates that I have open. I would book it, and I would see them the day of the shoot, and I would get to know them during the shoot, and like that. Okay. That's what I used to do. My process now looks like this. When I receive, first of all, let's go before I get the inquiry. My website has so much information. It is packed full of information. Everything from addressing the concerns that I hear from people, such as, we all hear it, right? Like, I'm camera shy. I'm not photogenic. I don't know how to pose. I am addressing that and problem solving that right on the website. I have plenty of examples. I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about past seniors. I have reviews. And I mean, my website is like fun to look at. Like it's a really cool place to land on, right? Once I receive an inquiry, I have it automated through HoneyBook to automatically respond to them as soon as they submit an inquiry. A thank you for reaching out. I will be in contact with you within 24 hours. I like to get back to them within a couple hours. All right. Once that's automated. On my end, I get the inquiry. On the inquiry form, I like to ask them what their name is, their phone number, their email, when they're graduating, if it's the parent or the student who's inquiring, and then I do text them back, but I'm saying, hi, I have a text replacement on my phone that plugs it in. I just have to type in their name. It says, hi, thanks so much for reaching out. This is Regina with Regina Blancos Photography. I got your inquiry for some senior portraits. I would love to go over all the questions and details that you might have. When are you available to speak over the phone? And they respond, hey, Regina, I have some time today, or I have some time tomorrow, whatever. We schedule a call. I am punctual about my phone calls. I am a very punctual person when it comes to my photography. In my personal life, I am not the most punctual. I'm working on it, but with my business, I am a type A with my business. I set alarms for my phone calls. So let's say the phone call is, for example, I have one today at 7, it's 5:11. My alarm will ring at 6:30, 6:45, 6:55, and then 7 p.m. I know that I have my call, and I do those beforehand so that in case I'm out shopping or running or something, I'm notified that I have a call coming up. So I call them on time, and this is why you do this. You just ask them questions. You get to know them. Even if you know that, obviously you want to close the shoot, right? You want to book the shoot, but you're getting to know them. And more importantly, they are getting to know you. Because here's the thing, okay? Here's what you miss out on when you position yourself as the drive-through photographer, aka the text-only, email-only photographer, okay? When you're on the phone, you are able to hear any and all internalized concerns and questions that they might have. I have heard everything from, I want to book a shoot, but I gained some weight during college and I'm super insecure about it. I've heard people say, I got in an accident, a couple years ago and I have this really crazy scar. I have heard things about people's smiles. I mean, I have heard so many insecurities that people carry with themselves. I have my own insecurities. We all have our own insecurities. But now I, know what those insecurities are, and I know what to do if we do work together, because while I'm on the phone, I'm taking notes, take notes down. And also I can problem solve right there and then and reassure them that it's okay and that I know how to work with it. I talk about what I can do for them. I'm hearing their ideas. I am, validating those ideas and maybe throwing out even more ideas. Or I'm talking to somebody who has never in their life ever done a photo shoot before, and they have no idea what questions to even ask. And so now I'm guiding them, I'm hand-holding them through this entire process. There's so many scenarios. There's scenarios where people have done photo shoots before, but their experience was horrible. Maybe the photographer never showed them while they were shooting the back of the camera. And so they got the photos back and they're like, oh, I look horrible, or they don't like them for whatever reason. And now they're doing this again, but they're really weary about it. Getting on the phone gives you the opportunity to get to know them and for them to get to know you, which all in turn, what that does is it breaks the ice right off the bat. It breaks the ice right off the bat. You're establishing trust because you're communicating with them. Communication is key for everything in life, even for business, especially with photography. It's so intimate. It's so one-on-one. You have a big, scary camera. If you're like me that has an off-camera flash, you have two giant things around you. It can be so terrifying for some people, but they at the same time want to do it. So getting to talk to you, hearing your voice, feeling your energy, and vice versa. Just think of how much is being established right off the bat. That's the experience you want. Those are the clients you want. And in my honest opinion, whenever I send out that initial text asking for, us to schedule a time to chat, every now and then, very, 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 very rarely, truly, very rarely, do I get somebody who's like, I just want to get a quick quote. This might seem rude, but I don't want to work with that kind of person. I am not a drive-through photographer. I refuse. So I just don't respond. And I know that might seem harsh, and maybe that's even the wrong advice, but that is how I do it. I'm being very honest in my podcast of what I do. Okay? Now, there's a difference between somebody saying, I just want a quick quote, to, hey, I have a really busy schedule. Do you mind just giving me some information? That's different. This could be somebody who is going to school and working full time at the same time. This could be a parent that's going to school. There's a number of reasons. And in that case, yeah, I'm gonna work with you, and I'm gonna text you or voice message or email, whatever. And I have like a brochure, an online brochure that I send out to my clients with those circumstances. But if somebody responds saying, I just want a quick quote, I'm sorry, I leave them unread because I'm not a drive-through photographer. I'm a 5-star Michelin photographer, okay? And I'm here to handhold you as much as you need me to, if you need me to, and show you and bedazzle you with the information and stuff like that. So when I started doing that, when I stopped communicating through text and emails and I went to calls, God, it just changed the quality of the people that I worked with. I started working with people that I really, really saw cared about this. They presented themselves that way in the way that they were and how prepared they are for their photo shoots, right? So that's another thing. When you are the drive-through photographer, and I'm going to continue using the analogy of the drive-through versus the 5-star restaurant because it really, I think, paints a picture. When you go to a drive-through, what's going on? You're tired. You probably had a long day at work. You're most likely in sweats or PJs. You don't care how you look. You just want to get some food and go home and call it a day. Similarly, not always, this is not always, but a lot of times when I was still marketing myself as that type of photographer, my clients would show up late. I had a couple no-shows, and they honestly, like, when I think back on it, it really sucks because I had a couple people who like just no-showed, and I was out driving an hour to the location, I'm texting them, hey, I'm here. And they're like, oh my God, can you give me an hour to get ready? I totally forgot. What? So yeah, I was working with people who were showing up late, who were doing no shows, who I could tell like hadn't tried their outfits on at all. Like they just went and bought something real quick. And again, that's fine. I know that there's all sorts of photographers and businesses for all sorts of people and circumstances, right? But I did not want that. I wanted the other type of client. And when I switched and did calls, oh my God, my clients, they are literally texting me sometimes between the time that we call each other to the time of our shoot. They're like, hey, what do you think about this outfit? I'm here at Zara or whatever with my mom, and like we're torn between these two colors for this outfit. What do you think? They want my input. They want my guidance. They show up and they are like clean and presentable, and like if their family comes with them, they are like well dressed. The dog is groomed. The cat's been brushed. Like they have all these beautiful props and outfits and ideas, and they're like telling me their backstory, and they're it's just such a wonder what happens when you establish trust and connection and communication and you market yourself in that way. So that is the best advice that I ever received, period. And that is the advice that I want to give to you guys today. If you're currently still on the phone, on doing email, I recommend you just dabble in it. Just try it out. Try it out. You can write yourself a little script. That is okay. All right. Here's what I would recommend to somebody who wants to try it out but has no idea what to say. Sit back and just analyze what you're saying now. How do your clients respond? What questions do you see repeatedly being asked? What answers are you giving them repeatedly where they're continuously getting excited? What are those things that you're saying that you realize people are like, oh, that sounds awesome, or that sounds great, or what problems do you see being repeated that you could provide solutions? Have a list of that. Create a little script for yourself, like literally write a script or type out a script, whatever. And next time you get an inquiry and you feel safe enough to do it, call them. And it might, who knows, it might go amazing. It might be like me that I bombed it. And it's okay. If you want to take it a step further, which I would recommend, record yourself. And I know that sounds even cringier than just being on the phone, but record yourself. After a few times of getting over that like feeling of calling them, I started recording myself. And then you can hear yourself and start noticing what things you're saying or not saying. I noticed in myself when I was recording myself that I spoke way too fast. I was so nervous. I was talking like this and I was like not giving them a chance to speak. Now I talk and let them respond. I ask a question, let them respond. Okay? Record yourself. And it's okay to have a script. Eventually, you're going to develop a script that you know works for pretty much everyone, because especially if you're like me who specializes in one type of photography. I mostly do just senior portrait photography. I'll do like families and engagements, stuff like that. But for the most part, I have senior portrait clients year round. So it's a little easier for me because I do have I don't want to say memorized script, but I've just done it so long. I have like a little system I go through when I talk to them. But you'll develop that for yourself, whether you do weddings or families or whatever. Like you will, with practice, like anything with practice, you will develop something that works for you pretty much every single time. And sometimes it might not work. And so then you tweak it. And then 6 months go by and it's perfect. And somebody else comes along the way and you realize that you lost them somewhere. And so you tweak it again. Get on the phone. I really recommend it. Establish trust. Trust with photographers and clients is the best thing ever, because for a lot of people, booking a photo shoot is so intimidating and scary. And if you can break the ice right off the bat, that works wonders. Really recommend it for y'all. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Probably Editing Podcast. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, would you please do me a favor and like or subscribe or share or comment, whatever it is that you can do on whatever platform it is that you're listening from. I would really appreciate it. I would love to connect with more photographers and hear about more ideas that you guys have for me for episodes. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.